Bun Babel. So, like I say, I want intelligent America. I want people who understand that we are a democracy, that a constitutional republic is a democracy. And that if you don't have democracy, you have dictatorship. This is not new. This is not innovative. This is the exact same playbook they used in Cuba, the same playbook that Putin used, that Hitler used, that Mussolini used, that Pol Pot used. It's the same autocratic dictatorship bullshit, which is solely about power and greed. Because Cubans say that Cuban roots group, Trump can't be a dictator. He's a capitalist. You fucking morons. Don't you realize that the biggest capitalists of all are the dictators? Because only they control the entire capital of the entire country? The only group that pushes back on my views on democracy, freedom, anti-dictatorship, and the obvious similarities between Fidel Castro and the autocrat dictatorship that they have there, because there's no socialism in Cuba. There's no communism in Cuba. There's solely autocratic dictatorship. My grandfather used to say it was the law of the funnel. Big and full at the top and empty the little drips at the bottom. That's Cuba. If there were socialism, you'd see some kind of social development, like in China. That's socialism. Cuba is not socialism. Cuba is not communism. Cuba is autocratic dictatorship. The same playbook that the beta boy bitches are using here. But here's the thing. Cubans know more than all the rest of us. Don't tell anybody. Cubans that grew up on the island know more about American democratic governments. They know more about American politics from what they learned in Cuba than anyone could ever know that grew up in America. They know more about American politics from their Cuban education. This is their thought process. This is what they believe. That because they grew up in Cuba, they know more about American politics than anybody else. So, the vast majority of those will not support a candidate like myself. Number one, the color of my skin. They identify with whiteness. They want to be white. No matter how black their grandmothers were, Cubans are white. They want to be white, whether they are or not. So they're never going to identify with someone like me, even though I am Cuban and I'm probably more Cuban than them, because my roots trace to the actual Taínos from the islands that were all over the southeastern United States, and this is the Caribbean, the original natives. Because according to them, the Spaniards acabaron, los españoles acabaron con todos los indígenas, con ese pelo lacio tuyo, eso no es, tú no eres cubano, no vas a ser cubano. I say I can't be Cuban because I have straight hair. And the Spaniards killed off all the Indians, all the natives. There were none left. And let me tell you something. Spaniards are some horny motherfuckers, right? They did not kill them beautiful native women that blew their minds with the beauty that they had never imagined and never seen before in their lives. So I guarantee you they did not kill all those beautiful native women that were on those islands. And men, because, hey, they were Spaniards. Like I said, they were horny. So we're here. We survived. Because, like in Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum so eloquently said, life finds a way. And that's what I'm asking you. What kind of president do you want? I know a lot of you have the president you wanted. This is the perfect president. This is the one you've always been waiting for because you're fucking losers. And you don't want a president to make your life better. You only want a president to make the lives of others worse. We've never had that before. We never had a president openly go out and destroy lives, fire people, create more unemployment and more hunger and despair than any president ever. And you're proud of that. This is what you've been waiting for. But to the rest who feel this is not the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. This is not justice for what they undertook when they took on the biggest army on the planet and told King George, listen, motherfucker, go fuck yourself. We want freedom. And built the nation on freedom. We the people. I love you. I love every single one of you. And I apologize if my characterizations of beta boy bitches and ignorance tend to twang in a certain way. I assure you it's fully authentic. It comes from within me. It's not something I'm trying to do. In fact, last night I was trying to not sound like that after my friend pointed it out. And I can't. When I talk like a dumbass, I'm gonna sound like a dumbass. Sorry. Don't be a dumbass. I love you. I love every single one of you, and I know we can do better. We are the greatest nation on the planet. And there's no reason for us to be rich. We don't need to be rich. We need to be prosperous. We need to measure our prosperity by the lack of hunger, the lack of despair, the lack of homelessness, the lack of our veterans on the streets because they've been abandoned by president after president after president. I'm not going to do that. My father served in the U.S. Army and disappeared. I don't know him. I have his dog tags on my keychain. The military confirmed that he served, that he was honorably discharged, and that he worked as a private contractor for the military after his service. But all records of his service beyond that was burnt in a base fire. No further information is available on his service. So I have a stake in this country. I have the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And myself served in domestic intelligence, going into places where fully armed law enforcement would not, to do the work for you, the American people. And that's why all this redistricting irks me and makes me so fucking pissed, because redistricting only happens after a decennial census that I worked on. Several of them. As a team leader, doing special censuses for cities that outgrew their population between the 10-year periods, that you have to do a special census to come out and count again. between. So just redistricting because a beta boy bitch doesn't want to lose and wants to cheat is not redistricting. It's cheating. And that's what they need to call every one of those efforts. They're cheating. They're not redistricting. Redistricting only happens after a decennial census. Period. And that is the very perversion that Abraham Lincoln warned of.